Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. This is Darth Nova here. Since the TCW Cringe saga is over, I'm finally reading a story that is I've been wanting to read for over probably 3 years now, and that is Obsession. What is Obsession exactly? Well, Obsession is one of those stories that, you know, started to lead directly to Revenge of the Sith. Now, if you're reading this in chronological order, yo, this is the story you're going to want to read before you start reading Labyrinth of Evil, which is coming soon. Now, it's been a long time since I've actually reviewed anything in the Clone Wars era, pre TCW. It feels like it's been forever. Holy crap. And, well, how is this story? Well, Obsession leads up to is self-explanatory. If you've paid attention to, the entire, Republic comics, Obi-Wan developed an obsession with Asajj Ventress, and he is determined to bring her to justice. Now, what do I think of this story? Well, I think it's a great, prequel to Revenge of the Sith. It isn't the only one, but it is a great, way to, read some pre-Revenge of the Sith stories, and the artwork is gorgeous. Like, Obsession to me is like the best Star Wars comic I've read since the Battle of Jabim. Shit, it's been a year since I've, read that story. Holy crap. Obsession, has everything I loved about the Battle of Jabim. The artwork is gorgeous. It looks like something out of a painting. The freaking action is feels like, so fluid. The fucking story is amazing. It feels like you're reading something from the Star Wars movies. The characters look like the actors. I mean, this comic is amazing, artwork and story-wise, from the first panel to the last one. And the ending for Asajj Ventress, which I'll talk about later. So hold that thought about Asajj Ventress. General Grievous, he appears in this comic, is a badass that kills some clones and some Jedi. This is the era where General Grievous wasn't a joke. This also is one of the few stories that gives us a glimpse of Anakin and Padme's relationship outside the films. And another thing that I really love about this story also is the camaraderie between Obi-Wan and Anakin. They've been fighting, with each other for so long that you could really tell that they're friends by reading this. The benefit of not having Ahsoka in the way of this, tells an amazing story with these two characters. And I'm in the firm belief that it makes no sense for Obsession to be placed at the start of the Clone Wars timeline, because the way the story was written to happen towards the last 5 months of the Clone Wars. Not, or 6 months, whatever, you know what I mean. Not the first few weeks of the Clone Wars. And not to mention, Dirge, his last appearance, as far as I know, correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section, he went out like a boss. I mean, this bastard is a freaking beast. Now, like I do for all comics, I have to show the artwork. I think the art is amazing. For some reason, Padme doesn't look anything like Natalie Portman, but whatever. I mean, just look at this art. It looks like something from a painting. And, I know art is subjective. I keep bringing this up when I review comics, but I really do appreciate, the attention to detail that the artist put into this comic. Every single scene, is alive. You know, it's it is every, it's so jaw dropping. You could read this comic for the visuals alone, and it would still be gorgeous. It's like this is like, in my opinion, one of the greatest Star Wars comics in terms of art. I mean, some of my favorite Star Wars comics ever have amazing art, but what makes it even a better comic is an amazing story, and I think the story is really freaking good, honestly. And Anakin is being a badass like he usually is in this freaking run of the, Clone Wars. I love the realism. I love the realistic art style for this. It looks so great. And it's hard to believe this comic is like, holy shit, almost 15 years old? Holy crap. This comic has held up really well in terms of art. I should have said the same thing with the Battle of Jabim. I really need to look up the artist, because I want to know what comics this person has drawn, because I really love, the penciling. It's like, holy crap. I have to show the artwork, because I don't think I can do this review justice if I don't even mention, the gorgeous artwork. And, this gorgeous panel as well. I'm very picky when it comes to comics. I don't make that. It's not a secret. Of course, now it's time to discuss Asajj Ventress. Her fate in the EU, and why I think this is the best end for the character. The main issue I have with the Clone Wars, the animated series, is Asajj Ventress' character arc was already finished. She wasn't meant to be this character that would, have an arc that spawned multiple seasons. She was a side character with an intriguing backstory, who was a badass, who was the victim, if you really think about it, of being manipulated by, Dooku. And her, her fate being ambiguous, I thought was a great way to send off her character. I mean, what happens to her? Does she, decide to settle down? Does she? Who knows? Her fate is mysterious, and I think it's a much better fate for Asajj Ventress and have her fall in love with Quinlan Vos and freaking. Oh god, I'm not going to talk about the new canon, because this is a review for Obsession. Obsession, in my opinion, is one of the best Star Wars comics, in my opinion. It's up there, at least for me, with the Battle of Jabim, Jango Fett Open Seasons, Dark Empire 1, and this is my opinion. Crimson Empire, it's up there with those great Star Wars stories. And I can't wait to review the final few arcs of Star Wars Republic and Labyrinth of Evil. But next time, I'm going to be reviewing the Clone Wars adventures, because those are Star Wars comics that most of you probably don't really know about. And I know some of you will get tired of me reviewing obscure stuff, but I can't help but actually share my, thoughts about this stuff, regardless how well known it is or not. May the Force be with you, and see you guys in the next review. Later.